Alright boys, it's time to grab your bolters and your scarab swarm repellent, because Games Workshop is about to throw us into a tomb world with the new Kill Team box. In this box, we're getting our favorite Xeno-hating Space Marines from a variety of chapters with the Deathwatch. We're also getting a lot of ancient robotic skeletons that hate anything living, the Necrons. So today we're going to break down all the miniatures in this set, and what you actually get inside the box. And I'll say it right up front, I'm a little biased that I'm a big fan of the Deathwatch and know very little about Necrons. So the set is called Kill Team Tomb World. And honestly, just the name right there sounds cool. So this box is loaded up. We're getting our 80-page softcover book, which contains 2 new mission packs. We're getting a full Deathwatch kill team. We're getting a Canoptech Circle kill team. We're getting some extra Necron warriors. We're also getting a ton of terrain. It looks like 25 pieces. We're getting all of the data cards that we need, and we're also getting a bunch of tokens. So really the only thing missing here is a little bit of paint, glue, and some time to actually get to play the game. So first, let's take a look at the Deathwatch. As I said, I'm a huge fan of them. I love the lore to them. I love the idea that there's representatives from just all these different chapters and they all come together for these special missions. I just think it's such a cool idea. And I love how each chapter has their own personality and it adds to the mix. Just a really cool concept. Now, as you already know, the Deathwatch are Space Marines handpicked from different chapters across the Imperium, all united under one mission: to kill the Xenos. Now this kit's going to give you a ton of different options. A lot of different shooting options, a lot of different melee options. Let's take a look at the different miniatures for the Deathwatch here. First, we get the Watch Sergeant and the Bombard. They both look really cool. I'm excited to get these guys, and I like the equipment that they come loaded out with. Then we get the Gunner and the Breacher. Again, very cool looking. And for me, when I build Space Marines, I like the helmeted heads better than the bare heads. It's just my preference, but I'm curious as to how other people feel. When you build your Space Marines, do you usually use the helmeted heads, or do you like the bare-headed Space Marine look? Then we have the Horde Slayer, the Head Taker. These guys both look really cool. I love the dual wielding there by the Head Taker. I think that's a neat addition. And it's cool that they show a Salamander with the Infernus pattern heavy bolter. Very nice touch. We have the Marksman, the Aegis, which he has the Storm Shield, so that's going to give him some defense capabilities there. The huge Power Mace, very cool. We have the Demolisher and the Disruptor. Demolisher has the big Power Maul, very cool. Nothing like slamming into the enemy with that bad boy. And finally, we have the Blade Master, who has the Xenophase Blade, which is a really cool addition. And that's one thing with the Deathwatch, is that they are one of the few chapters that actually are allowed to use Xenotechnology, where other chapters would never even consider doing something like that. So it's very cool. Now, one of the best things that I think they included in this kit is the shoulder pads for the Deathwatch. I think it is just really cool that they gave you a vast variety of chapters. I mean, we've got Exorcist, Emperor Spears, Stormlords, Iron Snakes, Iron Hands, Salamanders, Imperial Fists, Dark Angels, Raven Guard. I mean, there is a ton of different options here, and that is just really cool that they included all of these. Now, let's talk about the Necrons. These are the ancient skeletal androids who have been napping under the galactic floorboards for a millennia. And I have to be honest, out of all of the factions in 40K, the Necrons are probably the only faction that I have never painted a miniature for. Even when I was doing heavy commission work, it's kind of weird. I don't know why I've just never ran into Necrons. This kit might give me the perfect excuse to actually get a hold of some and get them painted up. And this set is going to give you a decent amount of Necrons that you can build up. Now, I will say that if you are not super keen on painting, or if you're not really too sure of your skill set, Necrons might be the way to go. Just looking at them, their bodies are pretty much all metal, and they have a little bit of green glow in their eyes and their weapons. So if you don't have a whole lot of paint supplies, or if you're not real big on painting, these might be a good option for you. Alright, so first we get the Geomancer. And I tell you what, this is really cool. I like the centipede-like body on him. I like the green glow for the shield. The staff looks cool. I think this is actually a really neat model. As I said, I'm not the biggest Necron fan, but I do like this one. The Accelerator and the Reanimator, I like these two. They have like an insect-like vibe to them, in my opinion. I like the spiky legs. I like the tail on them. We have the Tomb Crawler, which again, these kind of are like a scorpion look build to me. And as I said, there's not a whole lot on here for the painting. I mean, with a little bit of silver, black, you line it with the green, I think you could have a decent looking miniature without having to be some kind of professional. And then we also have the Warriors here. Again, these are very cool, but they look very similar to the Accelerator and the Reanimator in my opinion. And I almost forgot, it also looks like we're getting 10 Necron Warriors and 3 Scarab bases as well. That's a pretty cool addition to this. I'm not sure how they'll play into this as they aren't part of the kill team. Maybe they're just extras to have for the combat missions. Now looking at the miniatures, I have to say, I don't know much about Necron, so I don't know their lore and stuff as much as I do some of the other factions. I really like these miniatures, and I think if I do get this set, I'm definitely going to keep them and get them painted up and on the table. Of course, if you don't want them, you can always find somebody to either trade with or to sell them to in your gaming group. I'm sure that you'll be able to find a Necron player out there that'll be happy to take them off your hands. Now, as for the terrain, it looks like we're getting 25 pieces of Tomb World terrain. And some of this is going to be pillars and walls. There's also some special little bits that they threw in there, like the sarcophagus and teleport pads. So I think it's kind of neat that they gave us a good bit of terrain here to put on these boards. Because of course, as you know, Warhammer is tons of shooting, so having some kind of cover for your guys to hide behind and not get vaporized right away, blown to bits, this is going to be very handy to have. Now let's take a look at the price. This whole box set is going to cost $250. So this isn't a cheap one. And if you're not really looking into getting both factions and the terrain, it may be worth just waiting until each one is sold separately. If you just want the Deathwatch, just pick them up separately. You're going to save yourself a lot of money. The terrain is definitely adding to the cost on here. So hey, if you are good about making your own terrain or maybe 3D printing some of your own, that could save you a good bit of money here. And on another note, this pre-order has already been sold out. This one sold out within minutes of release. So I'm not sure how difficult it's going to be to get your hands on a set of this. That's something that we're going to have to wait and see. And speaking of the pre-order selling out, not to get on a whole anti-GW rant about this or anything, but as a company, I'm kind of surprised that you would not have unlimited pre-order available. I would think that you would want as many people as possible to pre-order your product, and then you could always up the manufacturing of it. So that's one thing that I'm kind of surprised about, that these are actually very limited, it seems, and that they sold out so quickly. But there must be some strategy to it because this is a very successful company. They must have their reasons. So that's the Kill Team Tomb World. On one side, you've got the Deathwatch, highly customizable and full of personality. On the other, Necrons, ancient, efficient, more durable than most friendships. It's a solid set, good models, good terrain, and a decent matchup. Whether you're in it for the painting, the playing, or just the joy of having another unopened box on your shelf, there's a lot to like here. So which faction are you most excited about? Are you a fan of the Deathwatch, or are you just buying this for the Necrons? Or maybe you're gonna get it for both. And as I said from the beginning, I'm more of a fan of the Deathwatch, but after taking a closer look at the Necrons, I'm seriously considering just keeping both of them and painting them up. I think it'll be a good time. I've never actually even painted a Necron miniature, but I think with a little bit of effort, you can get some nice looking models. So with that, I want to say thanks for watching. I hope that you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.